Challengers World, or as you might have known it as before, Burning World. For the first time ever since I've been playing again, it's available to reboot players, or as you might know it now, Heroic Server. I still hate that they renamed it. Most people seem to think that there is absolutely no downside, or they don't even stop to consider any downsides of burning on the Challengers World, and they think it should be an automatic thing that everybody does. And for the most part, that's absolutely true. I think if you're willing to take advantage of every little benefit that this server offers, nearly every single player should do it, but there are some downsides to going on the Challengers World. But if you are a newer player or someone with a very low Legion or Lynx or whatever, you absolutely 100% should go in the Challengers World with no considerations otherwise. However, for us existing players, things are a little bit different. Let me start off by just going over the perks of what you get by hyperburning on the Challenger World. I also need to mention that this is coming from a reboot perspective. I will be talking about the reboot rewards, which partly we don't know because no other server has reboot, and they will likely need to cook up some rewards just for us. So now let's take a look at the Maplestory microsite because they have a very convenient chart that shows you the benefits of the Challenger Hyperburn versus just a standard Hyperburn on whatever your regular server is. I also do need to say again that these are rewards for other servers. Things can always change for GMS, but these certainly are a good baseline to look at. For starters, we're pretty used to getting a level 5 or level 7 symbol from each new region we get to on a Hyperburning character. For this one, we are getting level 7 if you're not on the Challengers World. If you are on the Challengers World, you get a level 10 symbol instead. Now that ends up being a whopping total of 1,362 extra symbols. I mean, to put that to reference, usually the biggest symbol selector coupon we ever get is a 500 arcane symbol selector or 100 sacred symbols, and this is already nearly triple that, just a little under. And needless to say, if your account is on the weaker end and you often struggle killing whenever you enter a new Arcane River region, a level 10 symbol is going to go a long way with helping you with that. However, if you're a more established account, a level 10 symbol is just going to help compensate for some of the loss you get for not having a Legion or Lynx. Moving on to nodes. For a Challenger Hyperburn, you get 1,000 versus 500. That's a lot of nodes. If you aren't somebody with a character well into the 280s or beyond, you probably don't have more nodes than you can use, so these are always welcome. Same with experience nodestones, you get 50 instead of 25. Another massive boost for whatever your Hyperburn character is. Even more symbols, offering 1,000 arcane symbol selector coupons versus 600. Combine that with the level 10 symbols from Challengers World and you're already at 11.5 across the board. Then there's a short list of rewards that you will only get if you Hyperburn on the Challengers World. A level 5 Cernium symbol, the boss accessory box that we've come used to in most recent events, an Abyss Hunter ring for hunting normal monsters, and a bunch of other nice little rewards. The level 5 symbol and the Abyss Hunter's ring will definitely help offset some of the weakness you feel from being on the Challengers World. And then there's just the remainder of the regular Hyperburn rewards that both worlds will enjoy. But there's more. There is a Challengers World event where you'll accumulate points and coins and basically trade those in or earn rewards based on a current threshold. Points are obtained by either doing a 1,000 monster a day kill quest for 5 times a week or by soloing bosses. As for the coins, they are spent in a very kind of standard event shop. Things that, you can buy Karma Rebirth Karma Black Flames, Strange Cubes, Strange Additional Cubes, reg server things that Reboot doesn't get. Who knows if we will even get a replacement for these. And just to give you some rudimentary totals here, if you manage to kill everything up to easy plus normal, lucid, and will, you will get 5,400 points without any daily kill quests. That gets you enough to already get 100 Soul Urta fragments, 3 Soul Urta energy, and a Fairy Heart coupon. At this point, it needs to be said that the rewards were a little bit different in KMS. The 5,000 point reward tier did not have the Fairy Heart included. As for the 10,000 point reward tier, it had 200 fragments instead of 100. Me personally, I would rather have the Fairy Heart over 100 fragments, but honestly, I would be happy with either version. Who knows? Maybe we'll get both. After the 10,000 point tier, the rewards are identical for both KMS and Maple-C, but both include rewards that are specific to Reg server and aren't tailored to Reboot. So either expect a void there or probably just some purple cubes or green cubes. So now we go to talk about the points. If we're being realistic, if you're looking to migrate out of the Challengers World as soon as possible, you are not likely to easily surpass 10,000 points. But if you do, you'll get some okay rewards. Some of the most appealing rewards beyond the 10,000 point Wait, no, that was correct to say point. It just sounds funny. If you make it beyond that point, one of the biggest and most rewarding rewards technically are the Union Growth Potions, the Legion Growth Potions. These are literally level 200 characters in a bottle, but for the vast majority of players, these are literally going to be worthless. But if you are a newer player and you are really willing to put in the effort into the challenges world, level up your character, solo some bosses, practice mode counts by the way, that actually makes it a lot easier, you'll get some pretty good rewards and you will get a pretty strong Legion right out the box. As I mentioned earlier, if you're a newer player, this is a no-brainer. You absolutely should start on the challenges world. Afterwards, you can migrate to whatever world you want, but you will have an absolutely great experience if you start on the server. So let's talk about some of the less tangible things that aren't item rewards that'll be shown in an event list. But first, I should probably explain just how the challenges world actually works. It goes live along with the patch on June 11th. In KMS, it started on December 19th, and the very first opportunity they had to leap off of it back to their regular servers was January 16th. The Burning World does extend well beyond that, but that is your first opportunity if you just wish to get in and get out as fast as possible. But there are other benefits that the game won't directly tell you about. For example, daily quests that give bonus experience for one character a day are on a per world basis, so you'll be able to benefit Sia, for example, in your regular server and your Hyperburn in the Challengers world. This also applies to the 3000 mobs Soul Urta daily. You'll be able to do that on both your regular server and the Challenger world. At least that's the idea, as long as for some reason it doesn't also count as your main reboot server, which I don't see that happening. You should be able to do these on both. This also even extends to Monster Park and Monster Park Extreme, both of which according to the wiki are on a per world basis. Outside of the obvious one, that being events, which are almost always account-wide progress, there are only a couple things that are account locked, things like Ursus and Epic Dungeons. But so far, pretty much all I've done is talk about how good it is, all the benefits, and why you should do it. And while I think that the average player should absolutely partake in this, there are some downsides that you need to consider. But possibly one of the biggest downsides to being in the Challengers world is if you plan on either maining or secondarying, just investing in your Hyperburn period. You want to fund it and make it strong and give it as much of a strong start as you possibly can. While Challengers world does offer a lot of benefits, so many things that will make your character stronger, one thing it's going to miss out on is Shining Star Force. And if you have a lot of meso to spend on it and you intended on using it on your Hyperburn, you're going to have to wait around for either a second Shining Star Force if they repeat what they did last time, or just wait around for one of these smaller 30% off or 5, 10, 15 events that happen well after the Shining Star Force. This also means that you won't have a ton of meso to just cube the crap out of all your gear or to Star Force it properly. You also won't be able to make drop gear for it because that's quite a big expense, and when you're a brand new account, good luck with that one. A lot of these downsides are for the super wealthy and the super tryhard, those who are going to take this Hyperburn and try to make something truly special out of it, like a Legion champion or just a really strong boss mule. Being on the Challenger world for nearly a month can be quite the downside. Missing Shining Star Force is pretty brutal, and not having any of your additional funds or buffs to use can make bossing and progressing on the character quite a lot harder than it otherwise would be. And while the nodes and symbols and stuff will certainly help offset that a little bit, you're still talking about losing out on guild buffs, Legion, Union Artifact, all that crap. I think in general you're going to be a lot weaker on the server, but you do get a lot of rewards that money can't buy, like nodes, symbols, and just other nice things. But as some of the best rewards actually come from some of the more intangible things, like being able to do dailies on 2 different servers, that relies on you actually having the will to do that and not becoming burnt out. The longer you stay on the Burning World, the more fragments you get from staying and doing that 3000 mob daily. But of course, that means you have to do it twice. I think for the overwhelming majority of players, it is an obvious choice and you should partake in the Challengers world. However, I think there is a very small overlap of a very specific type of person that might not really make much sense to go on it. That being somebody with a lot of resources to spend on this Hyperburn character and the willingness to do so. Also, I think you gotta be someone who just doesn't like dailies. Like, you might be willing to do the Soul Urta daily for maybe a week, but after that it's gonna drive you nuts. If you're not taking advantage of that and you also have a high level character and a lot of nodes to spend, I think you lose a lot of the benefit that the Challengers world might offer. Despite the little buff that they do give you on the Challengers world, you're still going to be significantly weaker than you would be on your main server, provided you are a well-established account. And that is going to hinder the progress of whatever character this is. Sure, they might get a lot of fragments and nodes and other benefits that the Challengers world offers, but you're also going to be able to break into bosses a lot slower than you would otherwise. But with all those benefits, especially the fragments, if you're willing to do the 3000 mob a day daily on 2 different servers for the entirety of nearly 5 months, I think this character is easily able to come out being one of your strongest characters, and I think that's going to be true for probably a vast majority of people. So with all that information, I hope you're able to make an educated decision on whether or not you want to partake in the challenges world and for how long, because for the most part, everyone's just talking about all the upsides without any potential downsides. While the upsides I think definitely outweigh the downsides, again, I think there are just some people that might want to stop and consider.